I grew up in the church. My dad's side of my family is Christian, but my mom's side of my family is Hindu. And it's very devout on both sides. So it's either or from my choice. But I grew up Christian because that was what my mom converted to when my dad married her. You go to church, you understand what the word is, and you live life according to what the word is. But growing up, we never really talked about what God wants from us and what a relationship is. We've only talked about, you believe in God, that's it. You believe in Jesus, that's it. You're going to go to heaven. You're saved, that's it. You go to heaven. Just give your life to the Lord and you're going to heaven. We never really discussed that you need a relationship with the Lord. Whenever you talked about going through a tough time in my family, it's always a taboo subject. Anything that we know to be wrong according to the word was a taboo subject. So if you went through any of those things, it was like you're on your own. It's figure it out, because once you bring it to somebody that was in the church that knew growing up, because we had a very small family church, everybody would know about it. It wouldn't be like a one-on-one thing. It would be everybody would know about it, and then you would feel the judgment. That discouraged me a lot from speaking to people and, actually sharing what was going on, which led me to a place that I kind of let the devil take over. I was very depressed. I was in the worst state of my life, I could say, at this point. I was looking towards everything in the world. I was looking towards alcohol. I was looking towards paraphernalia. I was looking towards lust, and just everything of the world that I could get my hands on, I was doing. I would be in my bed every single night crying, just blaming the Lord. I would blame him for the sexual abuse that I've been through as a kid. I blamed him for taking my grandmother at a very young age, And I was so angry at the Lord, very angry. And I let that anger just change me. I let that anger get into my heart. I blamed him so much, and I was so angry, and I would scream at him every single night. I would cry every single night. My boyfriend, he is an atheist. He did not believe in the Lord. And I prayed for him one time in a span of a few months, and I did not look back to it until one day we were sitting in his car, and he just turned to me and said, "I believe in Jesus." And I said, "What?" And he said, "I believe in Jesus." And the Lord taking somebody whose heart was far from him and did not want anything to do with him, to transform him to say, "I believe and I trust," solidified to me that he can change the coldest of hearts and bring them to him. Why do I feel like I am beyond saving? And that's when I decided that I was going to change my outlook on how I talked to the Lord and how I felt about the Lord. And that's when I dove deeper into the Word. And that's when I would say everything started to change. To get baptized was not really a thought in my head, to be completely honest. It wasn't until the last baptism service that I was here for. And, I heard his story about also growing up in the church and still feeling separate from God, that I was like, oh, I'm not the only one. A lot of people go through the same thing that I did. This is the next step in getting closer with the Lord, and there's nothing more that I want than to be as close as him as I can possibly get.